Hi friends, welcome to my kitchen, and I chomp that Mexican edition. I'm Victoria Check, and today I'm here to teach you how to make my ancho honey salmon tacos. So if you don't know what anchos are this when they've been dried from a poblano. So you get those big beautiful peppers that a lot of times they're made with, use poblanos for chili rellenos. And when they're dried, this is what they look like. And they can actually come in a couple of different sizes. And when you get them, they should be, this one's really dry and breaks really easy, but they should be more pliable like this. That's how you could tell it's a much better, newer one, where that one was really old. And I did that on purpose because I wanted you to see the example. And so what I do, part of this recipe uses ancho powder. And I grind my own because it's kind of hard to find in just your regular grocery store. And I use a coffee grinder in it. And I just break it up in pieces and remove the seeds. And I put it in this little coffee grinder, which works really good. And I get my ancho powder. So with this recipe is really easy for the salmon. All it requires is a tablespoon of ancho powder, a couple of teaspoons of, actually this is 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. We have 2 tablespoons of honey, and that's all you're going to need for the salmon. And to dress the tacos when we plate them, we're going to make a little crema, matter of fact, Mexican crema, that's going to make kind of like a little coleslaw. And what I'm adding to it is some jalapenos, some red onions, the zest and juice of 1 lime, and the crema. And we're going to mix that all together, and that's going to be used with the tacos with this particular recipe. So the first thing we're going to want to do is have some beautiful salmon, which I bought a full fillet, and then I just cut them in sections of fillets. And we have about a pound here. And you know, this amount is probably really good for about 3 or 4 people when you make tacos, but in this household with my husband, this is enough for 2. So we're going to get started with, I'm going to show you how we mix this together, and we're going to put it on the salmon. Okay, so I could actually put this all in here, but I want to get a good mixture of it. So first we're going to add the honey to a little bowl. And if you can, please try and support your local farmer and get your local farm or local honey. And it's much better for you. Add the ancho. Oops, I'll just go and do this. You can just add it all at once. There's no, good order of this. Doesn't matter as long as it's just together. And just give it a good mix. Get it to do that. Look at how pretty that is. Nice and dark, and it smells really good. So how we're going to prepare this is I brush it on. And I try to make sure I get it on size. Make sure that your salmon is patted dry and let it sit out and rest for a minute, because it's going to cook much faster this way. So get on the sides. Oh, and also make sure you leave the skin on the bottom, and I'll tell you why in a minute when we're cooking it. So get a nice good spread of it all on the sides. Nice and thick. Don't be afraid to be generous with it. If you don't use it all, that's fine, because it's kind of like when you're grilling. I like to have a little extra so I can grill some while it's on, and I'll show you. So what I do when I'm making my salmon, I always cook it the sides, the top side first. And we're just going to leave this, let me get this skin out of here. Leave it to the side. And I'm going to let this rest, and we're going to put together the coleslaw for you. Okay, so for this, I have about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I just kind of sprinkled a little bit of pepper in there. And what I like to do is cut the cabbage into chunks, like squares, not shredded. I don't really like shredded. And then I sprinkle everything with it. Make sure it's not too much so I can see it. There. And then we want to add the jalapenos. I mean, there's no real good order, except I want to get all these things in first. Now, with the onions, I like it when they're in bigger chunks like this. because when I get a bite of it, it tastes really good. I love red onions, and these are the red onions that I grew, so that's really cool. And then we'll just, since this one was a pretty juicy lime, I'm not going to use all of it because I don't want it to be too overwhelming with the lime flavor, because then I feel like it takes away too much from the salmon. So just enough to add some freshness and that little nice touch. So all of this got a little thick. You can mix with your hands, you can mix with a spoon, whatever you feel like you want to do. Yeah, so that's basically it. This is really, really simple. See? Simple. So now let's get over and cook the salmon. Hello and welcome back to my stove. So we got the salmon ready to go. I'm going to put a little of oil on here. Pan's really hot. I'm going to start it with it down first, okay? And we're just going to do it for just not very long. We just want it to get nice and crispy. It's going to make a beautiful, let me turn it back up. I don't want to turn it down too low. Let's try this one too. And because you know what, the middle is always higher, I like to make sure that I'm holding down the sides so it can get cooked completely on top. You want to create a real pretty crust, and you'll see why, because this is so beautiful when it's cooked correctly. And then, because it's stuck on there real nice, I like to use a spatula in case it's stuck too much, just to make sure. Let's take a little peek. Ooh, yeah, that's what we want. So I do it real quick on the sides. Oh, yeah, look at that. Can you see that? How pretty that looks? Oops, gotta hold on to this, huh? So I'll just do it on the other side. You want it to be nice and pretty. Create those little crispy sides. It doesn't take that long, so what? It took like 30 seconds maybe? Because it's nice and hot. Get that going. Then, while you leave the skin on, give it a second. And I'm going to put it in the lower, it's not so hot over here on this side as it is over here. And we're just going to go ahead and just let that cook. And then this is when I like to add just a touch more. Look at how pretty that is. Is that beautiful or what? Yeah. Okay, let's start getting the other ones going. Now we just gotta let them finish cooking. And I'm gonna add the rest of this sauce over it. I wish you could smell this, but you're going to, because you're going to try this recipe, right? Oh, it looks beautiful. Doesn't that look good? You may think like it's burning the bottom, and that's okay because it's got the skin. It's not hurting. Yep, look at that. That's what we want. And taste it.
Thank you.
Crispy outside, nice and soft and moist on the inside. Oh, that's so yummy. I can't wait to make the tacos. Okay, so I'm going to let this cook for another minute, and then I'm going to take them off and put them on the plate, and then we're going to start assembling our tacos.
Looking good.
It looks fantastic. So look at this. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So this is why you let it finish off on the skin side, because look at how easy that just comes apart. See? Boop. It's just gone. And you just throw that away, or if you have cats, cut it up and chop it all up and let them enjoy that for a treat. So it's just a real easy, look at this. See? How easy that is? Just comes right apart. Or you want to get the skins, you can grab it. See, once again, this could be for 4, even 5 people, because they're street tacos, especially if you have sides. I would serve some lime.
That's for those people that don't eat much.
I would serve it with like a lime cilantro rice. But whoops. But just a quick. You don't want it to be all super shredded because you want chunks. You know what I'm saying? You want chunks.
And you gotta have the coating on it.
Yes.
And if you shred it up too much, you can't see the coating.
Yeah, you can't. So I made some tortillas earlier. We're gonna put a couple of these bad boys on here. Ooh, look at, actually we'll just do 2 for now. And there's 2 ways that you can serve it. So one way is to get your slaw, just a little scoop of it, put it down, the ingredients, and then get a couple of chunks of your fish. I'm just gonna use my hands so we can just get this going and serve it like that. Or you can get your big chunks of the salmon.
Depends which wants to be on top.
And add the coleslaw on top.
Alrighty.
And there you go. We have some ancho honey salmon tacos. They're wonderful. I know you're gonna love this recipe. So now here's the big.
Alrighty. Now I get to chomp. It's so good. I forgot about adding the flavor of the slaw in there with it. But just tasting the salmon itself, it's got starts off with a tiny bit of smoky flavor from the ancho, and then you can move into the sweetness and the mustard flavor. But once you mix that with the lime, the crema, and everything else that's in that slaw,
Good combination.
That's the goods right there.
So this is our second recipe, and I promise over time we'll get better with our videos, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of I Chomp That, our Mexican edition and our 30 nights of tacos. Cheers, and make sure, wait, hold on. Make sure you always have tequila, and go ahead, say it.
I chomped that.
Cheers.